Outputting and delivering P2 media from Avid Media Composer. Once you've finished editing, you have several choices for outputting your final product. Now, when you're delivering a sequence containing P2 DVC Pro 100 media, you can write back to a P2 card, you can export to a DVC Pro HD VTR over FireWire, and you can export as an alternative file type for web, DVD, or multimedia production. Now, you can also deliver from a timeline where you've transcoded the media to either uncompressed HD or Avid's DNx HD codec. From this type of timeline, you can output your work via HD SDI to a VTR such as Panasonic's D5 or Sony's HD Cam. You can output your work direct to air for immediate playback, and you can output your work via SDI, component or composite to an SD VTR such as Panasonic's DVC Pro or Sony's digital Betacam. Please do note though that certain HD frame rates and formats will not translate into SD. So, to deliver your completed P2 sequence back to a P2 card, select the sequence you wish to write back. Go to the main output menu, select Export to Device, choose P2. The write back will now take place over FireWire, USB or direct to a PCM CIA slot mounted card. Make sure the P2 device is correctly installed and recognized by the operating system before launching Media Composer. Important to note here that due to the capabilities of the current Panasonic card writing hardware, this process will only work with non-native Panasonic frame rates. Okay, to deliver your finished P2 sequence to a DVC Pro HD VTR over FireWire, first ensure that the video quality is set to full green mode. Next, select the sequence you want to output, go to the main output menu, select Digital Cut. Be sure the DVC Pro HD VTR is correctly installed under the operating system and recognized by the Media Composer. Important to note also here that the capabilities of the current Panasonic VTRs means that this process will only work with non-native Panasonic frame rates. Okay, to export your finished sequence as a file type appropriate for web, DVD or multimedia distribution, select the sequence that you want to output, go to the main file menu, or use the right click on either a Mac or a PC, and from here you can easily use the send to command to deliver a variety of different formats appropriate for DVD, Digi Delivery and Pro Tools. Or you can select Export and then use the Export Settings quick drop down menu or the Options panel in order to select the format and other parameters for your desired export. Alternatively, you can actually use Media Composer to create a QuickTime reference movie for rapid access to applications such as Sorensen Squeeze, where many other file types are available for creation. Now, if you also want to output your work to tape via HD SDI to a VTR such as a D5 or HD Cam, you will first need to transcode the sequence to Avid's DNx HD format, mastering quality HD codec. You will also need to have Avid Adrenaline hardware connected to your Mac or PC, as this is the device required to provide real-time output to your chosen VTR. To deliver your finished P2 sequence on tape via HD SDI, first ensure that the video quality is set to full green mode. Next, select the sequence you wish to output, go to the main clip menu, select Consolidate Transcode. You'll be presented with the Consolidate Transcode dialog. Choose transcode, choose video and audio on the same drives, choose the drive, unity or network location on which you wish to store the newly created DNx HD media. Next, choose the DNx HD resolution you wish to use. The DNx HD media will now be created according to the settings you just specified. You can also create uncompressed HD media at either 8-bit or 10-bit if you were going to finish the project on an Avid Symphony Nitrous or an Avid DS Nitrous. For more in-depth information about working with uncompressed and DNx HD media, please consult your Media Composer product documentation. When the transcode procedure is complete and with the newly created sequence selected, go to the main output menu. Select Digital Cut. The output will now take place over baseband HD SDI. Make sure the HD VTR is correctly installed and available in Media Composer beforehand. Now, the process for delivering an SD master over SDI, component or composite is very similar to the procedure just described for HD SDI, but it will be highly dependent on the acquisition frame rate and format you chose at the shooting stage. So if the frame rate and format you are using do indeed have an SD counterpart, then you will first need to use the Format tab within the Media Composer project window in order to select the SD format of the project. From there, you will transcode and output as described previously. There are a number of additional P2 resources available at avid.com/P2 guide.